Today, I'll examine equity financing, a powerful way for entrepreneurs to fuel growth by exchanging a share of ownership for capital. The central decision is not simply how to raise money, but how much ownership and control to share in order to build the business. We'll consider why this choice can be so consequential within a business plan and what it means for an entrepreneur's long-term strategy. The goal is to understand equity financing as both a source of funding and a meaningful commitment to future partners. Equity financing is a way for a business to raise capital by selling an ownership stake to investors. In return for their money, investors receive shares, so they participate in both the potential rewards and the risks of the business. The key difference from debt financing is that there are no monthly repayments or interest charges. Common sources include angel investors, venture capitalists, private equity firms, crowdfunding, and eventually public offerings. Equity financing can support company at every stage, from seed funding through Series A, B, and C rounds. Equity financing can come from several sources, depending on a company's stage, scale, and funding needs. Angel investors are individuals who use their personal wealth to support startups, often very early in their development. Venture capitalists, by contrast, manage pooled professional funds and typically invest in high-growth companies in exchange for significant ownership. Crowdfunding broadens participation, allowing many smaller investors to contribute through platforms such as WeFunder or Republic. Finally, an IPO enables an established company to raise substantial equity from the public by listing shares on a stock exchange. Equity financing offers several advantages beyond simply raising money. First, there's no repayment obligation, so the business can preserve cash flow for day-to-day operations and future growth instead of making scheduled loan payments. It also creates shared risk, because investors absorb part of the financial downside, and founders aren't personally responsible for the capital invested if the business fails. Finally, equity investors, particularly angels and venture capital firms, can contribute more than funding. Their mentorship, industry connections, and strategic guidance may help a company make better decisions and grow more effectively. Equity financing offers benefits that extend well beyond the initial cash infusion. By strengthening the balance sheet, it can make a company appear more stable and credible to banks, customers, and potential partners. That credibility may open doors to financing, relationships, and opportunities that underfunded competitors struggle to reach. The key idea is that equity is not merely protection against financial pressure. It can actively support future growth, turning a stronger financial foundation into a springboard for opportunity, expansion, and long-term momentum. Equity financing can provide valuable capital, but it also changes the relationship between the business and its investors. With greater capital comes shared control. That may mean sharing ownership, influence, and some decision-making authority as the company grows. The key is to weigh those trade-offs carefully. Equity can support expansion and strengthen the business financially, but it may also reduce the founder's control. Understanding both sides leads to more deliberate financing choices, rather than focusing only on the immediate benefit of new funding. Equity financing provides capital, but it comes with meaningful trade-offs. The biggest concern is dilution of ownership. Every new share reduces a founder's percentage stake, and multiple funding rounds can eventually weaken majority control. Investors may also receive board seats or approval rights, limiting independent decision-making. Equity holders share in future profits and any proceeds from a sale or acquisition, reducing the founder's potential returns. Finally, fundraising itself can take months, involving pitches, due diligence, negotiations, and legal work that distract from day-to-day operations. Choosing between equity and debt is not about finding one universally better option. It's about strategic fit, whether the financing matches your business model, current stage, and long-term goals. Early stage, high-growth startups often favor equity because it can provide capital without the immediate repayment pressure of debt. Established businesses with stable revenue may prefer debt, since predictable cash flow can support regular payments. In practice, many business plans use a blended approach, combining both sources to balance flexibility, ownership, risk, and growth potential. This example shows how dilution compounds across financing rounds. A founder begins with 100% ownership, then sells 20% in the seed round, retaining 80%. In Series A, a 25% stake for venture capital brings a founder down to 60%. After another 20% is sold in Series B, the founder retains approximately 48%. The key idea is that owning a smaller share of a much more valuable company can still create greater absolute wealth than owning all of a company that never achieves meaningful growth. Before choosing equity financing, I'd ask for strategic questions. First, how much control am I truly willing to give up, and what decision-making boundaries are non-negotiable? Second, what stage of growth are we in? Equity makes the most sense when growth potential is strong, but a business can't fund expansion on its own. Third, what does the right investor bring beyond money, such as relationships, expertise, and cultural fit? Finally, what is our exit strategy? Align on expectations early, whether the path is an acquisition, IPO, or buyback. The key takeaway is that equity financing offers major benefits: no repayment, shared risk, expert mentorship, stronger creditworthiness, and fuel for rapid growth. But those advantages come with real costs, including diluted ownership, less autonomy, profit sharing, and a demanding fundraising process. The right choice depends on alignment with my long-term vision and goals.